Mike Van and Melanine, and well met indeed. I am Archir Galadirthan, head of the modding team behind Divide and Conquer, and welcome back to the same as we continue on as the Vale of Dorwinion, or now they're just called Dorwinion. They used to be called the Vale of Dorwinion, but it was a bit of a mouthful, so we cut it down. I promised at the end of the last episode, have recorded this immediately after the last episode ended, so I've not seen your comments, and I may have said some things wrong, but I don't know that yet. So we shall kick off where we were before, which unfortunately is with an end turn. But because, blissfully, our end turns take about 10 to 15 seconds, that doesn't matter. Now, since making my lashings, my comments against Warhammer 2, a lot of people have actually come to the defense of Warhammer 2, which doesn't surprise me because it's a ridiculously popular game. It's in Steam's like top 15 of ongoing, constantly played games. It is doing really well. So it doesn't surprise me that people leap to its defense. And they say that, but Gallo, how can you moan about Warhammer having taking longer? It has about twice the number of factions as Divide and Conquer, and the map is considerably bigger. And to all of that, I say, aye, you are correct, and I shall concede on both those grounds. But that doesn't necessarily mean that technology hadn't come on, and they should have been able to do at least something to handle the absolutely ridiculous turn times.
No further, my lord.
The map isn't that much bigger. I mean, I've played Mortal Empires and I've played the Vortex campaign, and I would certainly submit that the map is actually not that much bigger. It is just more detailed, which is a bad way of saying the word detailed.
Your orders, my lord.
I wouldn't say it's actually that much greater. So I think that's a poor argument, if I'm allowed to speak my mind. I've just seen that Rhûn are knocking around there, and we've just bumped into a bloody rebel army. What is this madness?
Yes, my lord.
Rebels? Not on my watch. And the faction thing, I don't actually think there are that many more. Divide and Conquer has 26 playable factions, 27 maybe, 20... And every single one of them have unique looking units. Warhammer, of course, has... You play as different legendary lords, but your factions remain the same, don't you? So each faction has, on average, 3 or 4 legendary lords.
Yes,
but then you are playing as the Empire, for example, so you choose one of the 4, but your troops and your buildings and all of that will be the same. There might be 1 or 2 differences, but generally speaking.
My lord.
Aha, Logarth, we found it.
Yes,
and Arnville, or whatever he was called.
We shall engage.
Arnwin. But that guy's called Arnwin. I don't know. Oh, hang on. What has happened here? Oh, that's because that is Arnwin. We've been ambushed. But they failed. Perfect.
Attack!
So I don't think... Someone will know the answer, and I would ask that you provide it to me now. How many factions are there in Warhammer 2? I don't think there are as many as Divide and Conquer. The problem is that the assets are now more detailed, the gameplay is more detailed, and the engine doesn't seem to have been beefed up to handle that, if I may cast shade on Creative Assembly. Now, we're being ambushed, which means they're attacking us, but they've got a couple of cavalry units, which is a crossbowman's nightmare, because crossbows are not very good at attacking cavalry. But what we do have is a roster of forces designed to counter cavalry, so they should be able to shut down the cavalry charge, and then our crossbows can pick off whatever comes near. Something I was supposed to talk to you all about in the last episode is a question. And I'll give you all other facts, and then if you would answer in comments below. And apologies, I should have asked it in the previous episode. And that is, when you play as Dorwinion and you choose to side with the Avari, your culture remains Northmen. And by that I mean, when you're taking a settlement, you can always check what culture it has, and if it's particularly Orcish, Dwarven, Northmen, Elven, Dunedain, then your troops won't train until it is a certain level of your own culture. But, because of the wording of the choice, a lot of people always think that when you side with the elves, your culture will change to Elven, which would mean that if you took lands in Dale, you wouldn't be able to use them straight away because you are no longer Northmen. And some people always say, why doesn't that happen? Or, more commonly, we get people say, I chose the elves, but my culture has remained the same. And so the question is, would you actually like to see the culture change? Now, the downside, of course, would be that a lot of your regions would suddenly lose a lot of importance and ability. We can script some of the regions to change culture so that your heartlands would swap to Elven relatively easily. But a lot of your captured regions would suddenly become very useless to you. But on the other side, thematically, it works wonderfully because you would change to actually be Elven, which is really good.
Our men have slain the
Oh,
enemy
look
general.
at that. We just took the general down in one
His
charge.
troops will lose their will to fight.
So the downside is that your
Only half the enemy
culture
force
in
remains.
some of your captured regions would not be your own, and so troops that previously were available to you might now be a little harder to get. And your counters, your replenishment counters would reset. But the plus would be that thematically you would actually change culture. You would become Elven, which a lot of people would like. It would also mean that if you were to attack or take lands from the Woodland Realm or Lothlorien, you would also be able to train troops quickly because those are Elven regions. Our Thorn Guard are getting decimated in the centre there. The Privateer Axemen are doing a right number on them.
Behold how our... This is a
Only
clear
117
victory.
died. 116 kills the Thorn Guard though, so they did the best. There's very little else to the facet of changing to Elven. The only other change would be you'd get a culture building that then increases your Elven culture, and it would have an Elven design. So you'd get one building that looks like an Elven building. But that's about it. But for you all, the question is simply, is the thematic change of becoming Elven worth the fact that most of your provinces would then lose usefulness to you?
Your orders, my lord.
That is the question.
As you command.
For all,
We
you see,
shall
Othello was
prevail.
totally wrong in what he was
Yes.
thinking was the question.
Yes, my lord.
Now, I don't like what that runic army is doing. Gimel Zagar.
we should
He's only got one unit in that little battalion, but he's...
Your orders, my
one
lord.
unit too many, if you ask me. Viduhar,
Yes, my
I should
lord.
like some sight range on these golden fools.
This tower will keep vigil over the lands.
Who knows what they're up to?
Yes.
We've already got a tower on the edge there, so we get sight of Alest and Captain Daratai. Oh, that's cool. Daratai is the name of one of the clans in the south. Karasant has now got troops ready. Oh, and Santanwi will be ready in one go. Unless we want to hold on for the Dorwinion infantry. I think we should. They're a very cool unit. And Viduhar is out of the town at the moment anyway, so we've got to wait. So that's the question. Please do pop your answers in the comments down below. Let us know what you think and whether you'd like to be Elven or not. Of course, if you stay as the Northmen, nothing would change. So it's arguably another way of making the Northmen choice more valuable and more appealing, because if you stay with the Northmen,
Your
nothing would
orders, my
change.
lord.
So you might, for
This
example,
tower will keep vigil
at the
over
time of the
lands.
choice, you might be in a bitter battle with Rhûn, and you could
Honour.
really do with getting
Yes.
troop recruitment.
Yes, my lord.
And you don't want to risk
battle.
losing the ability to train
We shall
troops across
prevail.
your empire, so you might stick
We
with...
shall engage.
No, we don't want that, but we'll chuck a ladder on. So
Yes.
you might stick with the Northmen so that you can keep up the fight. That's obviously one possibility.
Your orders.
You're heading off to
Without
Dol Guldur,
question.
try and sell them some
I
map
shall
information.
continue tomorrow.
We're making a good bit of money. Strondos will get those mines shortly. I'm thinking, to be honest, the next location to build should be the mines in Santanwi. But we'll try and get a mason tool first, actually, and drop the price again. We are going to have about 2,000 gold coins, so we can get a mason tool in both. Let's go for that. We do want Viltur in Midjord, though. A lot of people didn't like it when I named this region Midjord, because Midjord just means Middle Earth. But a lot of people don't like the mixing of real-life language with the languages that Tolkien obviously brings us. But of course, most of the game is in English, so there is the real-life language. You can't get around it. I personally think a couple of homages to Tolkien's love for the languages of the Norsemen, Anglo-Saxons and those around,
Your orders, my
and
lord.
obviously the stories
With
that they had,
honour.
particularly
This tower will
everyone
keep vigil
associates
over the
Tolkien with
lands.
Beowulf. I think chucking in a couple of these names doesn't hurt, such as Midjord and Strondos. Now, of course, Icelandic is not something that Tolkien, I believe, or I understand, ever researched, but it's part of that family of sort of Scandinavian languages, isn't it? So, And also, it looks really cool. In fact, in Guild Wars 2, their equivalent of like Vikings, the giant human people, I've forgotten the name, I haven't played it for so long. My one of them was called Strond. I thought it was a good name. He hasn't done anything, Gimmelzagar, has he? He's just sort of sat around. And Vilta will attack us in 2 turns, so we'll let that happen. And Logarth in 4 will also let that happen. We're not in the great rush.
My lord.
Ah, and our army is ready. Perfect.
Yes,
Viduhar.
my lord.
The crossing, unfortunately, though, to the north is now very far away. Can you get your boat yet? Yes! Right, we won't do that then. What we will do is you'll all go over to Karasant.
Your orders, my
We'll
lord.
get on a boat and we'll pop across the shore there. So I think we're ending the turn again as our diplomat continues to move. So turns tick by. The problem with Total War games, of course, and the reason why the turn thing annoys me so much is because whilst you'd like to think that as factions die off, the turns must get quicker, but unfortunately the reverse is true. And as the game progresses, the turn times only get longer. As the factions get larger, they take more actions, and the game has to calculate those actions.
Yes.
And
we can go no further, my lord.
So it's unlikely to speed up, is the point. I shouldn't keep banging on about the turn times. I shouldn't. But we can finally get Athel here. I'll tell you what we can do as well, actually. Athel here can join with Viduhar.
Your orders, my lord.
And the two together can cross the north edge of the Sea of Rhûn and take Winter Ignore if the runic clansmen haven't already got it. That's the problem with taking Gazari Bar, is that if Rhûn haven't got through there yet, you then totally block them off. Like at the minute I'm building something of a purple wall around the north and western edges of the runic heartlands. And that will only be met with their distaste and likely therefore war. Captain Harkin, another set of units that we fought before. I tell you what I did not do in between recording the first and second episode was fix the axes. So let's hope we don't find any axe throwers in this episode either, because they will crash our game. I don't think they will, though. Sir! Right, give us a pause. We don't have that lovely hill that we had last time, but I think we're facing less troops than we were last time, so... But again, let's line them up near to where they're actually going so that they don't have to run as far. You guys are going to go there. Thornbladesmen, you're going to go and stand with them, which only leaves the other Thornbladesman unit to go and stand over there. General, you're going to cross over, but that's fine. I'd rather have you on that side. We've so far been able to not lose any crossbowmen, which is a real achievement. Although it won't last, and I'm sure they'll die eventually. Particularly when that cavalry gets involved. But I'm hoping our general will shut down that cavalry, if I'm honest. Crossbows! By order of the court, that's cool. I do like that. You're coming under javelin fire, aren't you? The damn dirty snakes. Men of the Thorn. I do quite like their very prim and proper English accents, and I think an English person putting on a Mediterranean accent would have sounded really bizarre and sort of fake, for want of a better word. So I am personally happy with the sort of posh English. Now, what are these cavalrymen doing? You're just throwing your lives away. Right, you guys, don't kill our own troops, so stop what you're doing. If you put bolts in, I shall be very displeased. Nice. They just have to finish the animation. Men of the Thorn! Right, come through there. Let's make everyone defend. Those Ravanian spearmen are fighting on longer than we would have liked. Oh, look, those ones come out the door just as the High Paladins arrive. Sharing and showing the similarities and lineage connection between Dale and Dorwinion, the High Paladins bear the armour of the Earls and Barons of Dale, but slightly twisted. It doesn't actually look identical. The base model of the unit is the same, but the actual armour, the textures, are different. Right, don't worry about anything running in there. You are free to engage. Oh, look at
Behold,
that.
our-
Look
this
at
is
that.
a
And
clear
down they
victory.
go. Bladesman taking the top spot. Crossbow's only getting 23 and 53 kills. Not very good at all. Not very good at all. But that's okay. They're only Thorn units. We are, of course, Dorwinion. Our units are not military powerhouses like the High Elven campaign. But I'm looking forward to the choice. The choice, as I can show you in the Green Book, actually, just to mention that fact
Glory,
again.
honor, victory.
The Green Books, of course, will
A
now
most
give you, in the
noble
capitals of
conquest.
certain regions, they will give you information about the scripts of that faction. I can show you two today. So Dorwinion, if you scroll to the bottom, you get the scripts, and the only script is the choice. And it happens at turn 53. If we were playing as Rhûn, Strondost happens to be part of the Sea of Rhûn, which is also part of Rhûn's capital province. So, there's the Rhûn information, the clans. It tells you about uniting the clans. And speaking of Rhûn, there is their faction leader,
I do not seek trouble.
who apparently doesn't seek trouble, but I wouldn't take Rhûn at their word. They're snaky bastards, if you pardon my French. We've got some money to play with, and we've got buildings available to us, but we want those mines. Well, and also ports. I think ports would be a good shout, actually. That next mine only gives an extra 300 gold coins for a 7,000 cost. That's just not worth it, is it? That reduces the time by 10%, which would make that take 5 and a bit turns rather than 6. Which, of course, because the game works in whole turns, doesn't actually have any effect yet. But, oh, we are making a lot of money. So Santanui is going to queue up the mines, and I'll take those. Karasant, I would like you to get a Master Masons, actually, I think. Because you are going to be focusing on economy. You're not going to be training troops for us, really. So do give us a Master Masons Hall. And we'll get the towns when we can. You can have a Masons Hall as well. Everyone gets a Masons Hall. I tell you what you should try and punt for is an armory for when the time comes. I know that's a lot of queued up buildings, but we are only going to get more money as time progresses. I want a building there doing the same thing. And Santanui, can you train me a unit of those? Yes, you can. So send those to Vilter. Swain, don't worry about that runic. I don't know what he is, but
Yes, my
he'll
lord.
bugger off eventually. So you go over there and get the
Continue
village.
tomorrow.
You guys get to Vilter sharpish because it doesn't like us. And then the army is finally ready. So we're about to lose money, unfortunately. That's alright.
Yes.
You're coming over here. You're going to get
Making
in
camp
the
here.
boat
We can go no
with the
further,
army of
Lord.
Karasant, which trains as well. I don't know what I just trained that Vineyard Levy unit for, though. Oh, you're crossing the ocean with us. Oh, the diplomat. I didn't move the diplomat. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Dorwinion is one of my favourite factions, and I just love playing as them. It's another nice, sleepy start. I like the sleepy starts. That's why I like Bree and I like Dorwinion. And I like Dol Amroth just because I bloody love Dol Amroth. It's such a fascinating culture. That is what appeals to me about DA. I'm not really one for Gondor. I don't find Gondor very
Your
interesting,
orders.
but Dol Amroth
As
I
you
like.
wish. Without question. Yes.
Ah, Dol Guldur army, there we are. Trade rights. You must want trade rights.
Your
Nice.
plan, another course
I will
of
give you my
wisdom
map
for
information if you give me 3,500 gold coins. Ah, you don't like that, but it was only demanding. How about 1,500 gold coins? I've got plenty of map information to give. Yes!
I should goodbye. We look forward to our next meeting.
Thank you for funding your demise, you great buffoons! So, Vilter hates us at the moment, but give it a turn and they won't.
Your orders, my lord.
Oh, Othelbin. Maintain the siege for now. What's it got? Yeah,
We
nothing.
shall
It looks like
prevail.
Rhûn has attacked it, though.
Yes.
They've got their fingers in many pies. Karasant building, of course. Santanui is not. Strondos neither. That's not a surprise.
Yes, my lord.
Into the ships.
Loading the troops into the transport.
Take those with you.
Yes. Set sail.
Athel here.
Your
Get to
orders, my
the...
lord.
Oh, build us a tower on that northern side.
This tower will keep vigil over the land.
Get to the coast. We'll pick you up.
Ships ready.
I'll swing by, pick you up, then we'll head north, go for some raiding. What do you think? Yes, sounds good, babes. I'll be ready. I think otherwise... Ah, Logarth is about to attack us, because the AI never lets themselves die. I'll tell you something else about Warhammer 2. Apologies to sound like a broken record, but how bloody long do the towns last for in sieges? It takes like 8 turns before the enemy units even start taking damage, and then it's like another 8 turns before you get the city. It's just a joke. It can't take 16 turns to take a village that doesn't even have walls. I mean, come on. But I don't know how many years is a turn in Warhammer 2. In this game, 4 turns is 1 year. So a province or a town or a settlement holding on for 6 turns is a year and a half. Which is arguably actually quite a long time, isn't it, I suppose?
We attack!
But villages only hold out for 4 turns, so they only hold for a year. Which actually is a long time for a village. A village wouldn't hold at all, would it? So I suppose I can't actually make that claim because I'm hypocritical there. Oh, we got a ladder too. We got ladders as well here. We don't need those, so stand back with your ladders. Go and stand in front of your ladders and be ready. And bring ruin upon our foe before they get anywhere near us, please. Particularly though, privateer cavalry. Perfect. They're coming for you. Give me a point blank. Every arrow should bring one down. 30. You guys shoot at something else. No way, you'll be alright. Javelins up. Nice. You're about to be outnumbered, friends, but hold true.
In our favor. Victory will be ours.
Oh dear. Oh, you were fighting back though. No, it won't take too long to dispatch the remaining cavalry. They are armor-piercing privateer cavalry, but when there's not very many of them, armor-piercing only has a limited benefit, really. Oh, there's privateer axemen standing back there. Jesus, take those out. Right, once you finish javelin throwing, get involved. Nice, good charge. Bugger, the axemen have come. Right, shadows, I need you over here. Get involved. No way, finish off these fools. Shadows, you have your targets. Bring that foe down. Ah, they're running in fear. Cowards! The shields on the back, I should also let you know, that whilst they look delightful, they have no actual practical effect. They've turned! They're charging back! Ah, but they are no match for the hailstorm of the Order. They might see you. You are shooting at them from about 20 meters away. But I'll give you your confidence is well founded. Norway hasn't lost a single man by the looks of it. Bows up. The golden bows of Dorwinion looking splendid as they fire into their enemies. Hunters don't know what to do with themselves.
The enemy are
Get
badly
the elves
bloodied.
involved there.
They have lost half their men.
These warriors are bloody marvellous. They have held against overwhelming numbers now for a long time. In most of the battles we've fought with them. No way, go for the privateer axemen. Shadows. If you could go for the hunters instead. And then catching them all in the crossfire there, very nice. Right, no way, new plan. Go and stand next to them. Give us some elven blessing. You guys take on those hunters. You come and get involved. No way. You have your target. Loose at will. Oh. So brutal. The enemy tries to flee. But elven accuracy is second to none. Oh, and they coward, they flee.
This is a clear victory.
50 men died. But Captain Godamar lost 529 of his command. And with that, the respect of his peers, I should imagine. A glorious day for Dorwinion. The purple banner of the land of wine stretches far into the heart of Rhûn. And behind march countless hordes of Thornguard and Thornbladesmen.
An honourable, glorious victory.
As we now even hold the castle of Logarth.
Conquered.
Grim, you're 24 years of age, but I just don't really need another general, so I'm going to say no to you. I don't want to pay for you, so...
Yes,
no way,
my lord.
give me some towers. What are we up
There's
against?
No glory in hiding like this, my lord.
Logarth
This
hates us
tower
even
will
with a
keep victual
garrison.
over the land.
Even though we have culture, the normal unrest is at 45%. I don't know why, so we need to get them to like us a bit more here. Law bonuses now are much better than they first appeared. So a law bonus is actually 1.8 times what is written. So if it's 5%, it'll actually be closer to about 7.5%, 8%, something like that. What's 80% of 5? I can't be bothered to work that out in my head at the moment. Just need to work out what 10% is. 0.5, double it, 1. And then take that away. So 4. So it'll be 9. It'll actually be 9% instead of 5. So law buildings are good. So we'll get the meeting hall because that will make them like us more. That's almost a 10% boost just from the law building. That's good. One of the key ways to reduce something that we were trying to focus on with Rhûn with his trait overhaul is to try and make governors more important. And so to match that and to work in unison with that, I have increased... Oh, they've sailed there as well. You jammy bastards. No!
I am not in your navy.
No, you're not, mate. I don't want to attack you either. Hamar, get out of there. So having a governor is a surefire way to make a town not hate you. That's the best way. But in a pinch, having a building that gives a law bonus is a good secondary hope. What has happened here? They rebelled. You jammy bastards.
Your orders, my lord.
Oh, I can't believe that. That's ridiculous. Well, go over to Othelbed then, and you'll become the garrison there. And we're going to need another unit then, so... I'll take that one in a minute. Could do with a fort, about here-ish. That's how most forts get created. I decide that I need one, and then I put one in. And normally it's just to aid my own gameplay. But I have to try, we have to try... to remember that people... Oh, Christ alive, look at the army they've got on Wontiria Nior. People are better than me at this game, so we need to make sure that it's both easier and harder for those who find it easier and harder, respectively. Othelbed rises, just as we beat the runic clansmen to it, which is nice to see, isn't it? Sabian has some strong forces. We have even stronger, but something I would like to do, is we've not done it yet, is see how good our auto-resolve is. 168. Now, I don't think we would have lost that many if we'd fought it ourselves, but as we are only playing Dorwinion, I'm happy to accept that. But,
a most noble conquest.
Oh, I will take you now, actually. Because you're going to go in Othelbed. Yes. Damn it, Rhûn taking it, haven't they? Oh no, the time has just run out.
Ships ready. Taking the troops ashore.
Oh, I don't know if they'll win that. The AI often struggles. They attack cities too early. So we'll hang by and we'll wait and we'll see what they do.
Your orders, my lord.
That's our best army over there at the moment, actually. Right, Othelbed, give us one of those. Low taxes. The whole army, step outside for a moment. You go back in. Ah, there we go. That won't rebel. Right, so all of you, merge what needs to be merged. Build us a tower. And go back and get Filter.
Your orders, my lord.
Yes.
But give us some sight over here. Rhûn have taken the Scorched Plains, so Mordor have not made it into Rhovanion. The Emyn Muil is held by Dol Guldur, as are the Brown Lands here. And Dagorlad, I should imagine, is probably held by Mordor, but Rhûn are giving us a wonderful buffer. So we don't have to deal with Mordor until and unless we take this province, which is called... Did I change the name? I don't think I did. It's called Rhûn, or it should be called Runic Plains. I'm sure I changed the name. Or indeed, if we make it to the Dagorlad and border the Black Gate itself. Unless and until those events occur, we won't have to worry about Mordor. I can't imagine Logarth will rebel. It's got a 60%. It's 2 turns away from liking us a bit more.
Your orders, my lord.
So we'll take that. But the real question is Captain Kushan going to beat the garrison of Gabar Izar? If you're wondering why the name's so weird, it's because the Dwarven language is very underrepresented on the map, and indeed in the game as a damn you traitorous scum.
The enemy has surrounded us.
The Dwarven language is underrepresented in the game, and so in an attempt to rectify that, I put the name out a bit more. So there's quite a few regions in the northeast now that have Dwarven region names. Oh, war with Rhûn is joined. We're not going to win. I'm not even going to bother fighting that. I mean, it's definitely a loss. I've not done anything to you, Rhûn. Oh, they cowered from there. You. Tricksy little buggers. Can you withdraw to the ship?
We are not disgraced.
No, but you can
Fall
withdraw,
back
so
and
that'll do.
retreat.
Right, we will retreat.
Making camp
Because
here.
I want that army to waste itself on Eeyore, and then we'll jump in and get them. So we'll just pop into the ship and sit by and watch. And then when that army is killed, because of its
Ship's
stupidity,
Yes, my lord.
Boarding the ship.
we will
Yes, sir.
sneak back in.
A fine day to
But it's there. Now we've got no money. Right, so Strondost is building. That's perfect. You've got quite a large amount of forces you can train. Oh, how far? No. I don't really want Othelbed. It's not as good as Vilta, because Vilta is a town.
Your orders, my lord. Yes, my lord.
Build us a tower there instead of there.
This tower will keep vigil over the lands.
Logarth.
With honor.
Ah, it's only got a 10. It's only got a 10. It's alright. It's alright. Carverad has roads already. I can't get roads there. Rawberg has roads already and has free upkeep, which is nice. Carverad has the same. Ilanin has the same. So those are all alright. Where is Rhûn going to hit us is the question. Does Strondos need to be improved, or are they going to come through Othelbed? I should imagine the latter, personally.
Your
but I think
orders,
in the
my lord.
interim,
Yes.
whilst we... Oh, come off it!
With honor.
Whilst we
We
wait.
shall continue tomorrow.
We'll try and catch them out here. Where did they get that army from? Right, Santanwi, chuck in some extra units, please. What else can you give me? Thorn Riders and Mounted Thorn Crossbowmen. Which I could actually get if I don't recruit those. So go on then. Build us a stables. Chuck those in for when you're ready. Strondost, I will take some extra units from you. Or I'd really like that Great Hall, because that will give us another free upkeep. Take us up to 3. And we're at 2 at the moment, but I'll take your guard and I'll take your bladesmen. And those that can, we'll push out into the fort. Up there, we'll wait and see what they do. But it's all on now. Ah, Karasan got his Master Masons. That's good. Vine Regent Howin, by the way, he doesn't have a custom bodyguard
Yes,
either.
my lord.
I should have said at the start. He's also just High Paladins. Because the High Paladins are a really good unit, and so it didn't really make sense for him to have anything else. Because that's one of the best units anyway. We don't actually make any money, unfortunately, now that Rhûn have done what they've done.
Your orders, my lord.
So that's a
We
shame.
can go no further, my lord.
But hopefully, yes, Logarth doesn't hate us. Now we can train some troops so we can pull the elves out as well, because we need them on the front line. But War with Rhûn is joined. War with Rhûn, sorry, not Run. In previous iterations of Divide and Conquer, War with Rhûn was something of a formality. They were very easy to defeat. You could rush them very early. And previously they were a Teutonic family tree as well, which meant they died remarkably easily, because if you killed
Yes,
the heir
my lord.
and the general
Yes.
faction leader in the
This
same
tower will
turn,
keep vigil over the
you would
lands.
defeat the entire
This
faction.
tower will keep vigil over
Ah,
the
5
lands.
turns. Oh.
Your orders, my lord.
Whoops, missed it. Alright, you guys get Vilta. Santanwi,
We
you're
shall
training
prevail.
slowly, but you are.
Yes.
Strondost is not. We're not making any money, of course. But they are coming. They are preparing. And they are attacking Winterion. Brilliant. So that army will die. But I don't think we
Ships
can...
ready.
Winterion, we don't want Winterion, in truth be told. The crossing is all the way over there at the plains of Vidigavia, so they're not going to be hitting Karasant anytime.
Ships
So instead, we shall strike at their heart. And we'll hit the buggers, right where it bloody well hurts them. Do we want Lesto, or do we want Mistrand to fall? Now, when we take Lesto and when we take Mistrand, they will get supporting forces.
Taking the troops ashore.
Oh dear, Mistrand
We
has a
can go no
massive
further, my lord.
garrison anyway.
Ships ready. Engage.
Yes! Dorwinion might!
We are victorious.
Oh, they don't even have a port.
Yes,
Goodness.
sir. Full.
Yes, my lord.
Well, we've landed. Athelhir and Viduhar, the invasion force is ready. These fools will pay for what they have
Your
done to
orders,
us.
my lord.
Santanwi needs to be buffed, and we need Vilta quickly so that we can get those troops mobilised. But it's all on. It is all on. One of you can return.
Will not. By your command.
There will be much.
I will not waste words.
If we bring these forces out of these 2 towns, we will lose money. But defending that bridge is a much better defensive location. And thus I am torn. But when that army all
my
dies
lord.
off, they'll be alright. So I'm tempted to move to the bridge. Do we even have any archers? No, we don't even have any archers, so it makes no difference. No, we'll use the armory. We'll get the armory bonus. So, guys, we can't risk you being in the fort. I'll have to take the monetary hit. Get back into the town. The armory will be ready in a turn anyway, so you'll be good to go. We'll get Vilta, and with the money that we've currently got, can anyone train me one of them? 390. Oh, we're so close. We are so close. That's so disappointing. One of those things that makes me want to cheat, but no, one mustn't cheat. Right, you guys go out to Carverad. Carverad, you're going to Logarth. I can't wait 5 turns, so you've got to go now. I can't pull the garrison out of Logarth because it will rebel, so we've got to wait till they get there. So we're shaving 2 turns off. We'll get Norway involved in 2 turns. But for now, that is where I'm going to end episode number 2. So I do hope you're enjoying this as much as I am. We've gone 24 blissful turns of peace. And now the Eastlings of Rhûn are upon us. But with our force of Viruha, the invasion force, we should be able to take and sack Mistrand, their capital, with any luck. Avoiding Lok Khan Rukar, who has quite a good bodyguard. The Lok Rim ones are damned good, so he's a bit of a pain. As are all runic generals, in fact. But the war with Rhûn begins in earnest. And hopefully we'll come out on top. Where's our diplomat, actually? Let me just move him before I forget entirely about his existence.
As you wish.
There we are. So for now, do be sure to check out the link in the description below for Gamesplanet. But until we speak again, dear friends, nevar den perimad melonin, and farewell.